talk of the Superman, the Batman, the Wonder Woman, the Captain America, Iron Man, Thor, whichever superhero we want to talk about. But then, looking at things critically and examining superheroes as a whole group of people, there are some who are so much underrated, but then they are very much powerful, skillful, and stronger in whichever role they play. So today I'm going to be talking about superheroes who are so underrated and then, enlighten you much more about them. Number one on my list is Domino. Domino first appeared in the 2018 Deadpool movie. That's Deadpool Part 2. Domino, she possesses this power of luck. And to be very lucky to the extent that to be very lucky. Actually, it's an infinite kind of state you are being put in. If I am lucky, there is nothing that will go bad for me. So imagine someone like Domino who is ever lucky in every situation that she finds herself in. What at all can she accomplish? Now, in Deadpool, after the prison breakout where they were escaping and all that, actually Deadpool was able to escape, came to meet Domino, and then the parts where they were going to stop the truck which was transporting other prisoners as well. Yeah, you can get to know that when Domino was trying to being shot at, it actually didn't work. She could actually tell the Lady Luck, which is a supposed part to take over the wheels, when the vehicle or truck somersaulted. She was the only lucky one among them to fall on a balloon. So come on, look at this. If the Avengers, Deadpool is a Marvel movie, so Domino is actually in the MCU. So if Avengers had actually thought of including Domino in their fight against Thanos, just imagine what would have happened. Now, moving on to the next one, we have Ghost Rider. Ghost Rider actually made its prominence in 2007 with the first Ghost Rider being released. We had the 2011 one, which was Ghost Rider Spirits of Vengeance. Now, Ghost Rider is a Knight Rider. It is actually believed that he made a covenant with the devil himself, where he actually turns into this form of a skeleton with flames all over. Nevertheless, he's very powerful. Ghost Rider has a whole lot of special abilities. When he goes into his ghost mode, nothing can affect him. And then when you watch closely and analyze it very well, in the ending of Spirits of Vengeance, he was actually able to defeat the devil himself. So if you make a covenant with someone of much greater power than you, and then you are able to defeat that person, come on, imagine the kind of power you wield. Ghost Rider is not spoken of many, but then he's a very powerful being on his own. Number 3 on my list, we have Daredevil. Daredevil actually made the first appearance to the MCU in 2003, where we had the first Daredevil movie being released. Just imagine someone who is blind. He wasn't born blind though, through an accident. He is blind, but then look at his agility, look at his speciality, being able to train his other senses to the extent that he turns out to be a vigilante and a lawyer at the same time. Come on, just imagine if we had to close our eyes for a minute, and even to move about in a house we've lived for all our lives, it's going to be kind of difficult. And looking at the role he puts himself in, moving on to the year 2015, where we had the first Daredevil movie being the first Daredevil series being produced and all that, he actually executes his role very, very well, fighting Kingpin and other villains and all that. Daredevil is a very powerful superhero to talk about. And then his role and action and play part in the Marvel Defenders also. Actually I feel like the ending, a whole building collapses on Daredevil, but then with post-credit scenes, Daredevil is being rescued by someone and they didn't die. Just imagine it. A blind vigilante with that kind of strength, but then he's so much underrated and all that we don't see much essence of him and all that. But then Daredevil is one to talk of the most. Now, number 4 on my list is Dr. Manhunter. Dr. Manhunter is is a superhero, and he belongs to the group of the Watchmen. The Watchmen was actually released somewhere 2012 thereabout, where 2009 thereabouts. The Watchmen. So Dr. Manhunter was just an ordinary scientist, but then here is the case: an experiment goes through, and then he gets to has some sort of abilities. Some of his abilities are he can metamorphose into atoms around him. He can teleport and all that. But then to the extreme, his powers has given him some kind of immortality abilities, where he's too powerful to this certain extent, but then he's less spoken of. So imagine Dr. Manhunter with all these abilities and all that, the kind of power he could wield. He's a very powerful one, but then we do not talk much about him. Number 5 on my list is Blackboard. So Blackboard is an Inhuman. If you watch the Inhuman series, you could find Blackboard. He was the king of the Inhumans. As a kid, his power was always his voice. So he wasn't allowed to speak. And the moment he speaks, everything around him gets destroyed. Now, when you watch Inhumans very well, he destroyed his own planet with his voice, and then his people moved down to it. But then, in 2022, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, he was part of this group called the Illuminati. Well, actually, the role he played in this, made him stoop so low of himself that he was just killed without putting his powers into much use, and then that was so unfortunate. But then, not standing on that ground only, Blackboard is a very powerful superhero to talk about. Number 6 on my list is Martian Manhunter. So the Martian Manhunter previously has been in a whole lot of DCU cartoons, in Titans, in Justice League cartoons, and a whole lot. But then we had in 2015, when Supergirl was released, Martian Manhunter played a very role in that. He is a shapeshifter from Mars, shape-shifting. So if Martian Manhunter shapeshifts as Supergirl, he kind of possesses the ability Supergirl possesses. If he shapeshifts as Superman, he kind of possesses the ability Superman possesses. So looking at a creature of that caliber and that building so much power and on that strength, he could accomplish a whole lot. And then he's one of the superheroes less spoken of, but then he's actually powerful. To me, he's very powerful. Number 7 on my list is Constantine. So we have Constantine. Constantine is a magician, and then with Constantine in the year 2005, we had a Constantine movie being released. But then we have other cartoons whereby Constantine plays a very effective role in there. Now, magic and all that, and then talking of Superman and Constantine, you could find out that Superman actually doesn't like magic, let me put it that way. And then Constantine isn't just a normal magician, he's a very powerful one, but then he's less spoken of. He's one of the powerful superheroes that is less spoken of, and then his power is very strong. And then with that kind of power, I mean, he should actually be among the top super groups. Well, but then Constantine is a very good superhero, and then a very strong one. Now moving on, number 8, we have Mantis. So Mantis actually made her first appearance in the 2017 Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 movie, having the ability to read someone's thoughts, to actually make someone feel what you want the person to feel, to actually make someone see what you want the person to see, and all that. It poses that kind of great power. And then when you look at the fight against Thanos, whereby Mantis was actually was able to make him focus on so much pain that they almost put the Infinity Gauntlet off in Marvel's Avengers Infinity War. So with that much power, she could accomplish so much if she's given much more of let me say, a platform and an audience to showcase the whole MCU that actually she is powerful. Number 9 on my list is Raven. You know, Raven has been starred in almost every X-Men movie, and then she's very powerful. Her powers is that of also a shapeshifter. But then, well, actually, I love the Raven character so much. Excellent. Everything about her just amuses me. Like she's very powerful. She plays a role very well. The character of Raven, you know, is much of a more prominent one. So Raven shapeshifts into Superman. Let's say Raven shapeshifts into all the other superheroes that we talk of loudly. Just imagine that kind of ability being possessed by a person, you know, but then she's given much more of a platform. I think that, you know, if there has been a movie which has been released for Wolverine, released for the Dark Phoenix, I personally feel that there should be a movie also being released for Raven to talk about her character as a whole and everything that entails her superhero character. And then last on my list is Hawkeye. Hawkeye is actually part of the Avengers, made his first appearance in 2012 Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes. He has played dominant roles in all the Avengers movies, and then after Infinity War he actually went to Japan where he was known as Ronin. Excellent crime fighting vigilante. He was very wild and all that kind of strength and all that. He doesn't possess any superpower to say, but then he has killed himself and trained himself in the acts of swordmanship, in the arts of the bow and arrow and all that. And then just last year we also have the Hawkeye series being released. You know, so Hawkeye is a very talented personality to say. Now, all these superheroes are underrated, and then I feel like they are one of the best and should be given a larger platform to display to the world how powerful they are in their very roles they play. All right, but then I don't know what you think about these superheroes. You might have your own list of underrated superheroes. Let me know that down in the comment section. Thank you for watching this video. So